Go to your Apple.
The following program contains views that are not those of WVTC, iNetworks Communications, their subsidiaries, affiliates, or financial supporters.
Hello, thank you guys for tuning in to WVTC, two-time Stellar Award-winning network. Happy to say that we have again been nominated for a third Stellar, so I appreciate y'all, you guys that voted for us the 2 years that we've won, and ask and hope that you guys will support us again on our third journey. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate WVTC Radio for allowing me to host on the platform, and also for WVTC believing in me enough to make me the publicist of the network. And so I'm very appreciative of that. And so the name of this show is called Real Men, Real Talk. And a lot of people say, Cynthia, what made you decide to just focus your show on men? Well, I have a boy child, raising a boy child, and I understand there's things that I can't teach him. I can only advise him. And so for me to have a platform to listen to men on the various topics and questions that I ask gives me a better insight. And also I got this thing where people always say it takes a village. I hear people say it takes a village. It takes a village. Yep, it do, right? But see, my twist to that is I get out and create my village, because everybody in your village ain't got your best interest. Everybody in your village ain't for you. So with that being said, I get out. And the Lord always send me guys. I'm on social media, and so I handpick these guys that you guys see on this show. I handpick them, and that's because I see something in them that I see good things with them. So with that being said, I have Mr. Barnes, my other guest. He's running behind. He let me know he's running behind, and so I appreciate him because time is an essence. So he'll soon be popping in. And as he do, we'll get right in. So with that being said, I'm sorry, as I was saying, I have Mr. Barnes. Mr. Barnes' nickname is Face. I've been seeing this guy for many, many years. I don't even think he realized, over 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years, right? And so I've seen him host some of the community basketball events, Pro-Am, I think he hosts. I've seen him over at Crane and so many other places. He's a comedian. I mean, we always in the same room, which is funny. I'm a woman for short words, but you know, I'm everywhere, and that's because again, I believe in networking. Your network will get you in rooms that a lot of your diplomas or certificates or whatever you may call it can get you, and people don't understand that. You know, I'm a woman of my word, and so you know, I just appreciate you, Mr. Barnes, for coming on. So with that being said, Mr. Barnes, tell us a little bit about you.
Thank you for having me. My name is DeAndre Barnes, but everybody calls me Face or Face Mob. I'm a comedian, and I'm also an actor. I also host the best and top basketball pro-am in Chicago called the Shot League. It's powered by Wilson. And I host other events, parties, and stuff like that. So I'm somebody that everybody knows, especially in Chicago.
How did you get into hosting?
It was just something to do. It was just basketball tournaments coming around. They had DJs. The DJ had the microphone. I just host the event while I was there, just joking in. Well, one of my best friends, his father was like, "Man, your voice sound like how it's supposed to sound, and you should take this serious." And for the last 20 years, I have been taking it serious, and it's been taking me to places I never thought it would ever take me to.
See, and like you just said, that's just something that fell into your lap, right? And see, people don't understand when you're passionate about something, you just got to keep going. You can't worry about who, what, when, where, why. Same thing with this. I never thought I'd be in a room with Kurt Franklin, with Marvin Sapp, and all these other people, like talking to them, touching them. And so my gift has allowed me, my passion has allowed me to be in rooms that, again, I'm still like, wow, I was in there with them. And so with that being said, so Face, I got a couple questions. And so this is kind of like getting up and close and personal. Typically, we talk about sports, we talk everything. And so I'm like, you know what? Let me change the narrative. So with that being said, my first question to you is, do you think societal expectations for men have changed?
Absolutely.
How so?
It's mainly due to social media. It's like it's a trend that everybody is following. It's like it's something everybody. It's like what people say on social media is what really typically goes in life, and it's like backwards to where the truth is a lie and the lie is the truth.
I
Instead
like
of
that.
real life, wondering and understanding that that's not how certain things supposed to go. It's just a difference. But yeah, the their thoughts is ridiculous.
So, we both live in North Londale, safe to say, right?
No,
Or
I
from
don't
London.
stay in North London. No, I stay in the Ulster community.
Y'all see how he cut us up?
Nah,
Okay. So you know what? So I got this thing about I've been hearing, I don't know if you've heard that they passed a law where they're taking Chicago police officers out of schools. Did you hear that?
I saw it. I read about it. I read about
What do you think about that?
it. By me being a Chicago public school student and graduating from Ulster High School, we had uh, police officers in the building with us, and it wasn't just like one or two; it was several, and it was actually good because when you look at it, it's added security, and the security is more needed now than it did back then when I was in high school. But when you look at it, it's also as more protection because when you look at the high schools and the security team that they have, depending on what size of the school, that's the amount of security guards. And I don't think they have no more than maybe six if it's a 3-floor building, or maybe eight if it's a four floor building. And that's not enough when you have between 1,500 and 2,500 students in the school.
Exactly. I said the same thing because of, a lot of people saying, oh, they don't stop none, this. But like you said, at the end of the day, we living in a new generation. And so kids can easily get into school with whatever it is they trying to get into school with. We can't prevent that, right? Um, and so I dated a cop that worked at Lincoln Park High School. And so when I would go visit him in the office, some of those kids that were in there and just hearing them and just it was crazy, right? And so it's a presence. And like you said, secure it's only so much security can do. So you figure you got a hostile kid, security can't handle him, and this kid threatening the teachers and everybody else. You got a police
Hmm.
right there that can diffuse the situation and, and do what's necessary. I think people taking the light from that because
Hmm.
again, every nothing is 100%, but presence is everything. Just like when you go to a gas station, I feel safer going to a gas station where the police is just sitting as opposed to going to a gas station where there isn't a police. And so presence is everything, right? Um,
Yeah, it's also respect. Also, uh, I would say 95% of these kids that's growing in this generation now, that's growing up, are not. They don't respect no one. And back then, even if we dislike what someone said, we still show some type of percentage of respect to that person because they was an adult. But some of these kids they don't show the respect. So like having the police officers there, they could probably disrespect them the way they disrespect other people because the way they've been raised is like it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing, and it's absolutely wrong.
wow, I totally agree. My next question: What does a good friend look like to you?
A good friend is a friend that's gonna have your back through thick and thin. Uh, Also, a friend that's not gonna be afraid to tell you you're wrong. or what you did wasn't right. I might not tell you in the heat of the moment because it's not the perfect time for it. But before that day is over or the next day, you was wrong for this because you did this, this, and that. You know, a real friend is somebody that's genuinely got your back, that love you unconditionally no matter what, and will go above and beyond to be there with you just as much as you'll go above and beyond for them. And they won't mind telling you right or wrong, and will be able to take the criticism on the other side.
I love it. So you mentioned earlier that you've been following sports, and I've seen you do a lot of live videos in regards to sports. Do you
Hmm.
think that the sports arena for our kids have changed?
As far as professional or just any level,
Either, either.
yes,
How so?
because uh, when we came up, um, you could go to any park district Monday through Friday from, I want to say, 4 to 8, because those are mainly the hours that you're not in school. And then certain days on the weekend, I mean, on probably Saturdays, from maybe like 10 a.m. to like 2, you could go there and you could go in the gym room, you could do anything. And now you can't do that. And it's like they don't have the same programs or funding that they used to have when we grew up. And that's taking a toll on the kids because a lot of the kids who want it don't have it, and the kids that don't want it don't care that it's not there anymore. And it seems like everybody just okay with turning the other cheek or not looking over their shoulder to make sure everybody can get a fair shake on everything.
What do you think about the AAU basketball program?
It's a joke. It's a
Please.
joke, and the reason why I say it's a joke, it's only a joke to people who use that platform to swindle money into their pockets at the expense of kids who really pouring their life into the sport they plan to make it to the next level or to even be seen.
Wow.
And I mean, you got people who actually do it for the love, and you got people who do it because it's a financial gain. And those are the people that mess it up because they say it's one apple that could one bad apple that could spoil a bunch. That's basically what that is. Like some AAU systems is good and some not. But now it's a joke to me because you got to be on a certain AAU level to even get the look, and and if you're not on that level, they don't give you that look, and then you got to do so much to be on that level. And to that level, it might be 1,000 good teams. They only gonna take 15. And to me, and if you don't know nobody or willing to pay for it or whatever, you don't get the look. So that's why I say it's a joke.
I totally agree because when you think of it, I mean, to charge a working mother, like you said, with kid that has a passion for that, $1,300 or $1,400, like really, that don't even make sense. And what happens if she have two kids? I look at it and shake my head, and that's probably why my son got started with basketball so late in the game. I went to college, I'm sorry, on a basketball scholarship. And so everybody assumed that I was just going to throw my son out there to the wolves, being that I had an athletic background. But like you just said, I know what it is out there. I see coaches trying to finesse and get over and doing everything else, chasing the dollar. There are some out there that, as you mentioned, that really doing it from the heart. And so I
Hmm.
just refuse to set my son up for failure because, like you said, now it's with that AU stuff, it's more so the kids that's advanced. And so
Hmm.
if you got a kid that ain't on that level, your kid gonna sit on the bench, but they gonna take them and still take you a couple dollars. I'm like, no,
Hmm.
y'all got to messed up all the way around. As the
Yeah.
kids say, I 1v1 be the coach.
It's like for certain programs, if they tell you it costs 1,300, $1,400, mainly that's the expenses as far as maybe playing a bus ride and hotel fare, and maybe just enough to make sure your kid eats while they're out. Some of them, yeah, that's if they traveling. But if they're still in the district or a place where you can drive to or stuff like that, that's a money haul. That's
My
what I
point.
call it. But like if
Absolutely.
you if your kid is playing in Atlanta In the east, on the East Coast, um, Florida, I think Houston, Texas, and Vegas throughout the summer during AAU. That means they're traveling to different states, different regions. Then that's probably that 1,500 is really going to they basically airfare and hotel, which
Now
ain't bad,
I can
but
respect that because
which ain't bad, but this is where it comes in wrong at. You got 13 people on that team, and only 6 people can afford that money, and other 7 may not. And if the one of the 6 people that's not as good as one of the 7, they use that funding from one of those kids and give it to the other kids. Won't say nothing, so you'll be paying for your kid and another kid, and they won't tell you. That's when it becomes tricky because a lot of people, kids, don't pay, and some of the other kids do pay, and that's the foolishness that
yeah,
I'll be talking about.
yeah. You know what? You're right. You're absolutely right. Because um, it just made me think of some individuals that some profound name basketball players, and
Right.
so they get to go to these trainings for free, right? They go to the
Hmm.
trainings for free to allow the person that's overseeing it for I want cloud. Is that a better choice of words for the exposure? Okay, so now you're
Yeah.
looking at this organization, and you seeing this boy over there, and he number one pick, he this, he this, he this, and like you just said, he ain't paid a quarter. They
Right.
pulling him to get the likes and and so you're absolutely right. That's how my son was actually able to go to a training based on somebody else's name. And so yeah, you're absolutely right, and it sucks for the parents who are really out there trying to do it. My next question to you is, um, what is what is let me see how to put this question. How do you think women in today's society are viewed? Or what are the expectations you think that some of these women have on guys, and how has it changed?
The expectation for, first of all, it could go either way, and you got to look at it in the form of, are these real women? Because some of the women don't carry themselves like how a real woman should be. So it's just an adult female and not a real woman. And you know what I'm saying? You got to look at it like that. Like that's gonna rub, that right there is gonna rub a lot of people the wrong way. But some of your viewers might understand that it's a difference between a real woman and an adult female.
I
They're
never heard.
both they both are legal in age, but it's the way you carry yourself. Now, when it comes down to it, some of these, the way they carry themselves is it's oh my God. Like I see it a lot on my platform on the way they carry themselves and some of the guys the way they carry themselves. It's like the blind leading the blind, and everything that wasn't accepted or that you didn't see your mother's grandmother or aunts and stuff do or the way they carry themselves, they don't do that now. It's like it's lack of respect for each other and others, and it's like I don't care mentality. Like I'm gonna do what I want to do. This is my life. This is my body. I don't care what people think, and it's never leave it to the imagination type of situation.
Where do you think women and what do you think people went wrong at?
I would say it's the way some of them raised, but I can't say that because everybody is raised different, and the way you may be raised might be different from mine, and uh, you might
Yep.
carry it. But I can say society, social media, because a
Yeah,
lot of stuff that they promote, it make people think it's okay to do it,
you're
and
right.
it's not. And it's not because when you do it, it look cool, but 10, 15 years later, when you look back on what you did, you be like, man, I looked at a fool when I did it.
You,
And
you
a lot of people don't see it, but it's
what's the best
promoted heavy.
what's the best advice that your parents has given you? Start with your mother.
Uh, Yo, I just got off the phone with moms. Like, her advice never stops. Like, as long as she's breathing, she's going to give us advice. And the best advice she's given me is what I'm teaching you now, you're gonna see it in the future and you're gonna thank me later.
I love it.
And you know, my stepfather was around heavy until he passed away in 2005. The best advice he gave me, I think, when he found out I was having my first child when I was 21, he said, "It ain't about you no more. You have a child on the way. It's about the child, so you don't live for you no more. You live for your kid. You're a man. Ain't nobody gonna give you nothing. Either you work for it or you don't get it. So if you don't work, you don't eat." And he just walked off, like walked completely off on me. And
I like
till this
that.
day, I still take heed to what he said because it's 100% true. I can't get anything from nobody, so if I don't work, I don't eat. And ain't nobody gonna continuously give a grown man something that he can go out and work hard for himself.
What are your what are your red flags for dating a woman? Your deal breakers. I'm
Uh,
sorry, deal breakers.
for dating a woman, self respect.
Okay.
Because it look good out the naked eye don't mean it's good for you. Self respect, respect, um, just respect and self respect. Besides, um, like I don't like when a woman comes off as begging or needy, like because it seems like you're only approaching me because you know I'm gonna go to work and I make a good living for myself. So some of those stuffs are red flags.
Wow. 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 That's pretty interesting. Would you date a woman that has three kids by three
Yes,
different men?
yes,
By three different men?
yes.
Okay.
The reason why everything don't last forever, not even life. Everything has an expiration date. And because you and that kid's father didn't work, or you and that kid's father didn't work, and you and that kid's father didn't work, doesn't mean you're a bad person, doesn't mean they're a bad person. Maybe it's just you guys grew apart and things just didn't work. So it doesn't make you a bad person because you have three kids by three different fathers. Now it may throw a little salt in the water if the age is not so far away. Like this kid is 10, this kid is 9, this kid is 8. Like you ain't give yourself a chance to relieve from the guy before. So, you know, it makes you think like that, but you know, it's uh it's not a bad thing to date someone who has multiple kids by multiple people, you know, because you never know what their life has been or what they've been through. So and then, you know, you can't judge a book by its cover. You know what I'm saying? You gotta open it and read the pages.
I love it. I love it. I love it. What is okay? So you went to CPS school. I heard you mention. What is one
Yeah.
thing you wish you had learned in school?
One thing I wish I had learned.
Yes, sir.
As I mean, I wish I would have learned Spanish early. The reason why I say Spanish early because they don't teach you Spanish, well, at least back then, until you get in high school. And I think you only get it for 2 years, basically like 4 semesters, to where you get a whole credit each year. And now, besides English, Spanish is one of the languages that's spoken around the world. And
Yep.
like in a few years, you know, a lot of people gonna be speaking it, and we're gonna be as Americans or people who speak English gonna be behind because we don't know how to speak Spanish. So I wish I could have learned Spanish early to where I could speak it fluently and write it to maybe help me in the longer longevity of life.
I love it. Do you think do you think men are viewed a certain way when they are openly expressing their emotions?
Yeah, as a man, we're taught to suck it up and fight through it. And that's the dumbest thing you could tell a man who's really going through something. Like we're taught to be tough, to run through brick walls, not to cry, at least, you know, let people know it, but that's like when a man is going through stuff, for women that's listening or may see this, if that man is smiling all the time, still ask him, is he okay?
I agree.
Because at the end of the day, that man can keep a smile on his face and be going through all type of stuff and won't tell nobody.
I agree.
And and then it'll be like when he finally reaches his breaking point, that's when everybody will see it and be like, man, but he was such a nice guy. He was smiling all the time. He did, so like if you see a man smiling all the time, maybe he's hiding the pain because he don't want people to know what he's going through. It
And
gets
I'm
it
glad
get
you
crazy.
said that because I don't think there is a safe place for men to express their emotions. And like you said, men are taught to suck it up. And then now you got a child who is really only allowed to be emotional with the mother, right? And so
Yeah.
the father is more of the dominant, uh, I
Hmm.
wouldn't say aggressive, what's the better lack of words? The father for the is the disciplinarian, I'll say that in the house
Right.
most
Right.
times. And so now this boy grows up and he's only allowed to be emotional with his mother. So now he
Right.
starts to date. And like you said, now he's looked at differently because 9 times out of 10, the female that he's dealing with hasn't been exposed or
Right.
taught how to deal with a man with his emotions. And like you said, that's
Right.
why now you got domestics and things of that sort. And so I try my best to allow my son when he's going through, regardless to what it may be, um, to speak up and speak out. You know,
People,
I tell him all the time, speak up, speak out. You know, I want you to be able to express yourself, right? Because I don't want him to grow up as a man and then
Exactly.
he trying to figure it out, right? So hello, D man, how are you?
I'm good in yourself.
Awesome. Thank you for tuning in. And so just got a couple questions. Me and Face was just talking about a variety of things. And so since you're here, we're going to throw some of these questions at you. So
Okay.
the first question to you is, do you think, I'm sorry, first of all, introduce yourself. Tell the people who you are and what you got going on.
Um, my name is Darren Lay. Most people, I'm faced real daddy. They don't know it's real daddy. That's me.
I'm just trying to get on
No,
here
on a
playing.
serious note, um, my name is Darren Lay, and I'm a boys basketball coach over at Marshall High School. Pretty much deal with the community on a day-to-day basis. I've also been teaching and being around kids for over like 15 years. Um, that's pretty much the gist of it. But neighborhood K-Town guy, you
Okay.
know, love sports, love basketball. Typical, basketball guy.
And how coincidental it is, because I was just telling Face, um, I handpick everybody. And so the Lord always, when I put two people together, I always then understand. He gave me the revelation why I put those together. Uh, both of you guys have a love for basketball, right? And so there you go. You guys have a love for basketball like no other. And so that's the connection here. My next question to you, D man, is do you think societal expectations for men have changed?
Societal expectations. I can't really say that they changed. I
Okay.
just think you have a lot of people that hasn't been successful for stepping up to the plate to fulfill those necessary needs. Um, for men, for sure, and I was just posting here when I say like I love to see men step up and just be cheerleaders for their kids because we don't understand like the power and the security that comes with it as men. Um, I was raised by a single mother, you know, and and I won't say single because my stepfather, he came in and did a great job. My father, he was there at times, but I mean,
What happened? It cut out.
Yeah, I think he's having some technical difficulties.
Yeah,
Um,
he got a Boost mobile phone, and it only work with around Wi-Fi. There you go. He back.
so D, I was
okay, I
told
don't
that
know what just.
you got a Boost mobile phone and only works with Wi-Fi. So we're gonna need you to get an iPhone. We're gonna need you to
Yeah,
get
I
an
don't
iPhone
know.
Yeah,
His
he definitely got.
services.
All right, there it is. I'm
He
sorry.
definitely
Yeah,
got.
I don't know what happened.
We're gonna need you to get an iPhone because we working with Android.
I got an iPhone, which is weird.
it's
I
your
think you got
location
me
in
on
the
the show
house.
with the wrong person.
Hey,
Oh,
we do this all the time, man. I've been knowing this dude. I think we've been knowing each other since we was 14, D man? Like
14.
14.
Wow.
And we're in our 40s. So
See, I didn't know that. There we go. I didn't know you guys were friends.
yeah,
Interesting. Because I promise you, when I'm okay, so when I see somebody, I'm like, okay, I need somebody to match their energy, right?
right.
I need to match their energy. And so I've been doing good thus far. Thank you, Lord. God give me the gift of discernment. I know people,
Yeah,
I know people. So D, as you were saying, I'm happy to hear that your mother was a single, that you were raised in a single parent household and your stepfather stepped up because it's important. A lot of times women don't think that they can make do with what they got. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you gotta deal with the cards that you have been dealt with, right? And
yeah,
move
that's true.
accordingly. You can't sit here and worry about who not there, because if you focus on who not there, you can't get to where you're going, right?
That's true.
So Face, my next question to you is what advice would you give these young men out here that's out here doing whatever it is they doing?
Uh, the best advice to give these younger guys, especially that that I done been through a lot, is to keep your head up and keep pushing. Don't let the weight of the world run you to the ground. And uh, everything that look good ain't good. If I want to say that, like to show them, like it gets greater in a better form. Like it depends on the person to who I would have to get the advice to, because I can speak from all four corners of the table.
I love it.
Yeah. So
So
the advice would have to be different. It depends on who the person is.
so earlier I asked you, we talked about um D man, I hear echo on your end. Okay, it's gone now. Nope,
No,
it's
that's
Is it
back.
my
still there.
end?
Yeah, hey D man, you got to get some headphones to where it tune out all the echoing and all that.
Yeah.
Okay, but I got you.
Um So, Face, what is it that you do? So we know that men can't be emotional for whatever reason and that they put out there, and that's sad. And we both agree to that. My question to you is, when you feel um when you feel like you're at your lowest, or when you feel like you need to exhale, what is it that you do to get yourself back on track?
A simple prayer.
I love it.
A simple prayer. You got to have your own for whoever you give your most high praise to. Some people don't have the same religion, so
Correct.
whoever you give your most high praise to, you have your own way of talking to them. It might not be the typical way. It might be a "What's up?" The lingo. You know how to. So it's a simple prayer, and I'm not gonna lie. Um, I I go to my mother for anything, like, cause I figure my mother ain't gonna lie to me. So if I go to my mother and I tell her everything I got going on and this and that, I'm expecting her to chew me out about some of the stuff, some of the decisions I made, and to try to help me get out of the situation
I love it.
with words. Because if you can't go to your mom and she know you better than anybody, so that's what I normally do. I say a quick prayer, then when I'm at my lowest, so I feel like there's nothing else I can do, I just go ask my mother what should I do and give us some scenarios on how I've been looking at things and see what she says to see if I can better the situation.
I love that. I love it. I love it. I'm going to take a 30-second break and play a video. And so I have a organization called Heavenly Sent Youth. And so what I do is expose inner city kids to different things outside their neighborhoods. Case in point, growing up in Chicago, the go-to sport is football and basketball. However, not all kids want to play that, but for whatever reason, a lot of parents are trying to live their dream through their kids and not giving these kids a choice, right? And so there's other things that kids could do outside of those two. So I understand that. So we do swimming, we do bowling, we do golf, we do tennis, we do archery. I just developed a partnership with a couple of barns. And so I take the kids to the barn. We learned about farm animals. We're learning about planting our own crops and everything in between. There isn't nothing that these kids that say that they want to do. I don't have a resource and they know it. And so I've post on Facebook all the time, and I thank God that I have been doing that. 2 years ago, during the pandemic, Facebook reached out to me and said that they like, what I was doing with the kids, so much so that they wanted to pay me to do a commercial. And so I had to compete against all these different people. And I'm happy to say that I made the cut. And it was so cool because they sent all of this equipment, these computers, these high-end cameras to my house, set it up. They paid my son to be my assistant. So he just setting the camera up. We go to the barn, they got the cameras, and so it was so cool. So here's the commercial. My name is Cynthia Manuel. I was born in Chicago, and I am proud to be able to raise my son in Chicago. I work with inner city youth to show them different things outside of their neighborhoods. When these kids walk onto the farm, it makes them feel like they are free. I want these kids to know how to give back, and recycling is one of those ways. Pretty cool, right?
Yeah, that's dope. The reason why it's even better, because not just us in the city of Chicago or the state of Illinois or in the United States, the whole world get to see that. Because if it's on Facebook, that's a world situation.
Yep.
So that
And so,
means billions of people saw that commercial. So congratulations.
thank you, thank you, thank you, thank
I
you, thank
love
you.
it. I love the background. The
Thank
background is dope for
And
sure.
so Facebook set that up. I just recorded everything and I sent them all their stuff back. And my son was like, "Mom, can we keep this computer?" Because they sent like all the high end stuff. I'm looking at the camera like this camera's $7,000, and so it was so cool. And we sent it all back, and then it took them a while to do that, and that's the final product. And also with the kids, I also make the kids give back. Like we have to do some type of community service because so often kids just won't. Some of the parents don't even make them do nothing. We buy them all this stuff, and you ask the kid to take the garbage out, and they're looking at you like you crazy. And I'm like, and one thing I hate when I talk to parents and they say, all my kid do is sit at home and play the game. Um, it's your house, your internet, you bought the game, I'm lost. So
I think it's a outing for actually being a parent.
Mm-hmm.
I
I
think
agree.
the pandemic made it okay for kids not to get out and not to do anything, which is the ultimately worst in terms of just socially for our kids. Like our kids would rather send a text out and we sit in the same house rather than have a formal conversation. But this is the times that we're living in. Like we can really vividly talk about a time where we had to get up to turn the TV. You know what I'm saying? Like,
True.
or where we had to run in the kitchen to go get the phone when it rung. Like
True.
we didn't grow up in the era where everything was just so
Handheld.
was right. I mean, not so much as just handheld. Everything is just it's just it's right there. Like you wanna go buy something, you don't have to leave the house. You want to grocery shop, you don't have to leave the house.
Well, let me
And
ask
it makes
you, in terms of kids, can we change that narrative in our own homes?
Yeah.
I think you can.
In
It's
your
not
house, not
impossible.
somebody else's.
Exactly. In your
I don't
house,
I don't
yeah.
think I don't think it's impossible, but as we see, like our kids know what they see. Of course they know the norm in the household, but I
Hmm.
mean, they still have to get out. They still have to get out. So I mean, when you talking about like what does a family look like in 2024, a black inner city family? Like we grew up in the times where when it was time to eat, everybody ate. Now you look at a household where you got everybody eating in different rooms.
Hmm.
So I mean, that was part of that bonding time where conversation was had.
But we
Where
can bring that back, D. So my thing is this: like we can talk about, and even to kids about how it used to be. What it used to be and how it used to look. We get that. And so those times are no longer here. So now it's time to meet these kids where they at. And as parents, we got to hold our kids accountable and move accordingly. That's why I asked in regards to, can you change the narrative in your house? Because of course we know they got to get out. But remember, every good parenting starts at home and then it spreads abroad. So if you plant a seed, it'll grow, right? And so if we allow our kids to do these things just because it's common or just because it's what is seen, shame on us. For instance, my kid, I take his phone at night because he got to go to school. And there's no need for you to have a phone. You on Facebook all night, YouTube, or whatever it is that he may be on. When we go out to eat, I make it my business to even put my phone to the side. I'm making like you said, people, we don't sit at the dinner table no more. So I make sure to take my son out once a month and just sit at the table without my phone. It's a struggle for me, and then without his phone. And then we talk about what his goals is, what do you want to do, what do you want to accomplish, what's happening with him, and everything in between. And so I cherish that and make sure I do that, because if you don't sit down with these kids and see what they're going through, and like me and Faith was talking about earlier, boys can't be emotional, suck it up, move around, you're a man. And so if you keep telling this kid that, and then like you said, now when they explode or when they act out, we trying to figure out why, when all along this kid was crying for affection or attention, and we ignored that for whatever reason.
well, I, that's been going on since the beginning of time. So I mean, I just think again now we talking about nowadays, kids aren't as thick skinned. Like you very seldom heard like the bullying aspect. You know what I'm saying? Not saying it wasn't happening, but when you felt like you were getting bullied, you had to find a way to overcome it. Now, not, that doesn't say like everybody found that way, but I feel like society at times puts so much, they put so much stereotype on certain things just to cradle the fact of actually problem solving and actually getting through life. Like even I have three college students, and they talk about like how hard college is. Well, that's the point of going to college. Like that's the point of growing up. When you get through college, like you went through all the trials, you went through all the tribulations, the long nights of class work, not having things that ultimately detours your way of life. So it's the struggle. I think because of the way society is, they feel like the snow should be shoveled when they get ready to walk. Like, and I think our kids don't know how to problem solve.
He got cut out again. His Boost Mobile acting up.
um so I'm gonna get back to the questions since time is ticking. So Face, I'm gonna ask you, do you believe in God or the higher being or whatever it is you may believe in? Do you
Yes.
believe there is an existence? Okay.
Yes.
Um, D, do you believe in God or any type of higher being?
Absolutely.
Okay. So my question, Face to you first. What's your favorite Bible scripture or parable in the Bible?
I don't have one.
Okay. What is a quote that you live by?
Uh, if you don't work, you don't eat.
Okay. D-Man, you got a favorite Bible scripture or a favorite quote or a favorite scripture in the Bible?
I don't also have one as well. I mean, I believe in God. I, I don't believe in a lot of the stories that's within the Bible.
Okay, so your
But I do
favorite
believe
quote that you live, a favorite, a quote that you live by, or something that gets you through your day.
hard work beat talent when talent don't work.
Say that again.
Hard work beat talent when talent does not work.
Got it. I love it. Question: have you guys heard of the five love languages?
Yes.
Face, you heard of the five love languages?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So with that being said, D, what's your favorite or to go love language? Because let me say why I asked you guys this. So I was at church probably 10 years ago, and the pastor talked about love languages. And so I went and got the book, did some listened to some YouTube videos, and I've been living by the five love languages since then, because a lot of times we're in these relationships and we're given a love language that don't even exist to the other person. So for instance, um, you may be giving somebody gifts is one of the love language, and they love language may be words of affirmation. So I'm so in tune with that, because in relationships I think that communication is key, as well as comprehension. We can communicate, and I also need you to comprehend what I'm saying. So that's my twist on that. Yeah, communication important, but is you understanding what I'm saying? So comprehension. And so I want to make sure that I'm giving you your love language, and we ain't got to twist it. So D, what's your go-to love language?
I can't really say I have one that's go
Or
to. I
two or
think
three?
is my phone messing up again?
No, you good. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. No, I can't really say I have a specific love language. I'm familiar with it, but I think it all depends on the situation. Every situation is different. I mean, it's what works for you in your relationship, I believe. So, I can't really say that I have one in particularly, because I feel like it can change.
Okay. Face.
I feel the same way. You never know what day of the week you in with those love languages. It might be this one day, something else the next. So I really don't have a particular one.
Okay. Next question. Oh, I didn't ask you, D-Man. D-Man, what does a friend look like to you? What are characteristics of a friend? Because we often hear people say, that's my best friend, that's my BFF. And so what are some traits that you carry in regards to a real
Support,
support?
support. It's support. I mean, support means so much in a friendship, because it may be somebody that you may not even talk to every single day, but you make them pick the phone up, and that they may be able to understand you the way that other people can't, and be able to give you information or give you feedback that actually speaks your language, that put things in perspective. So I think it's support.
Do you? So what is something you wish you had learned in school?
Something I wish I learned when I was in school.
Correct.
I think for me, I can honestly say, I mean, unless you talking like subject, or you just talking
However
just
you see fit. However you see fit at the question. However you analyze.
maturity.
Okay.
Maturity. I wish I was a little bit more mature at a younger age. I think if I was a little bit more mature, then I would have been able to put things in perspective. And my route to success probably wouldn't have been, as you know, the journey wouldn't have been as long. I think if I matured and had some type of self discipline, that's what I wish I had. If I had to go back and say, this is a tool that I wish I had.
What's the best advice your parents has given you?
Just be yourself. Just be yourself. People they gonna like you, they gonna love you, or they gonna hate you. Just just be who you are, and everything else is gonna form.
Thank you, sir. I
You know.
appreciate that. Face, what is something you want to see different in your community?
Uh, togetherness.
Say it again.
Hello.
Yes, I said, the question is, what is something you want to see different in your community?
Hello.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me, D?
I can hear you. Face got my phone now.
I know, right? Can you hear us, Face?
You could bounce the question off of me until.
Okay, I
But
was just making
could
sure
you react?
so the question is, what is something different you want to see in your community?
Um, that word again. Support. Like I think we need to support each other. Like I don't care if you selling peanuts. I don't care what you selling. Like it's the support. That's how you build a community. Just helping each other. It's the support. I don't care if it's sports. I don't care if you're selling T-shirts. I don't care what it's support. Until we actually build up our own community, like I feel like this will always be like the do all tell all on the back end of helping each other. We just got to support each other.
Face, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. I agree. We don't have enough support in our communities, and like you said, that's where it starts. Once we support each other, we'll start to see everything blossom. Plant a seed, it'll grow, as I always like to say. He gonna come back in. Um, D, what advice do you give your children?
Um, Persevere. Like I mean, we're not going to succeed at everything. Even the greats, and regardless to what it is, haven't always succeeded. It's learned from every situation, whether you were successful at it or not. You know, just finding a win in every loss.
I like that.
So yeah,
Face, can you hear us now?
Yeah, I could. There was a phone call came through.
D said
yeah,
you got his
right. You
phone.
had my phone.
So my question to you, Face, is what is it that you want to see differently in your community?
Togetherness. We all live in the same community, and we all do everything separate. Nobody does anything together. It's like a me versus you type of mentality, and I think if everybody worked together in a community, it'd be back strong like how it was when we was youngers and we grew up to it.
So this question is left. This will be the last question. Do you guys or have you guys ever watched any of the superhero movies? What is this? Spider-Man, Batman, Black Panther, Hulk, anything? Y'all got kids, so I safe to say that I would hope y'all been seeing some of that stuff, right?
Yeah, I saw it.
Okay. So let me ask you this. So D-Man, out of all the superhero characters, what character traits you would like to have or superpowers?
Mm. Superman is like the ultimate. Like for it, it's nothing Superman can't do.
Okay.
Like like hell, Batman can't fly, so I mean, but Superman, like he's indestructible. Like he's the ultimate superhero.
Okay. Face.
D-Man finna laugh at this. He finna laugh. I don't know.
I'm
To be
laughing
honest,
already.
he already know. And if I don't tell the truth, he gonna call me after this and be like, "You lied." Uh, the Incredible Hulk. That's just
Okay.
me, 100%. That's why he's shaking his head. I've been like that all my life. So if there's anything superhero wise, it's the Incredible Hulk because I'm a cool dude. But once that shirt starts to rip, it's over with. I don't. That's why he's shaking his head.
Okay, D, last question. I mean, this isn't a question, but this is the final thing. Anybody you want to give a shout out to, or anybody that's been instrumental in your life?
Oh man, it's so many people though. Like, and when I say that, like, and the reason why I'm saying this because like I've gotten so much support like within the last 5 months of like taking this high school job.
Good for
Like
you.
when I tell you like the support, the people that reached out, the people that you know when my long days where it's like what I got myself into, like I just have so many people. Like I can't really pinpoint, you
Well,
know.
just a general statement. Of course, you can't say everybody because you'll forget. So just a general statement.
Um, you send a general statement in terms of someone in particularly, or just
However you see fit, however you want to answer it.
my family, man. Like my family been like 10 toes down the whole time, like through all of it. And when I say family, like I got a slew of friends that I look to as family. But my family been like 10 toes down, like for real. Just be I wouldn't. It was days that I knew I wouldn't have got through, without them for
Thank
sure.
you, thank you, thank you. Face.
Um, I want to say my kids. The reason why I say my kids because for one thing, they made me look at life totally different once they got here.
Wow.
And to look at them, I have to move different. I have to think different. I gotta react a different way. And then by me
I love
having daughters, by me having daughters, that's even worse because the first example of a man that they see is me because I'm
correct.
their father. So I want to say, like, I want to give a shout out to them because you know I think it was a punishment in disguise for God to give me all daughters, but it was a blessing for me to wake up and see what life really was and
Wow,
to
that's
show
deep.
me that, like, hey, listen, I could punish you another way, but I'm gonna make these girls teach you how to be somebody that you didn't used to be, and watch how you learn how to live life in a better aspect, so these women can see me different.
Well, thank you guys for taking time at y'all busy schedules to talk to me. I appreciate you guys. I'm gonna say to you guys, be safe out there and continue doing the works that you are doing because people are looking at you guys, even when you don't think they are. It took me, somebody like me from afar, sit back and see the good stuff that you guys are doing. So I appreciate the work and you guys be safe out there and continue the journey.
All right, you keep doing what you're doing, man. I see you steady growing, man. I like what you're doing, man. Keep working.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. I was just getting ready to say, like, I mean, I think it should be more and more people that should tune in and be able to tell their story, which will be part of that support to for everybody, not just to build themselves, but for everybody. So I mean, you definitely, I can see this growing. I can see you being more successful. You know, definitely God has a plan for you. God has a plan for all of us, but I definitely appreciate you reaching out and bringing us on here today.
So last but not least, D, in regards to what you said, this network has won 2 Stellar Awards, and the same Stellar Award that Michael Jackson has, Kirk Franklin has, and all the big gospel icons. And I say that, and we've been nominated for our third. So in June we'll be going back to the Stellar Awards. But I say that with all sincerity to say that regardless to who we think not supporting, and even our family and friends, God always got a whole nother slew of people that see our works and that's gonna pour into us. Because a Stellar Award, I don't take that lightly. And when I held that thing, I was like, oh my God. So we also have a station in Detroit. So I encourage anybody, keep doing what you're doing. People looking, people might not respond, or you may not get the likes, but the Lord always send the right people. So I showed a video early, people on Facebook that I don't even know called me and did a video, it paid me to do a commercial. So people looking, so y'all continue doing what y'all doing, be safe, and thank you guys again.
All right, thank
Problem.
you.
Good night.
Thanks.
Go to your Apple or Google Play Store and download the WVTC Gospel Radio app today. You can also say, Alexa, play WVTC Radio Skills.
Would you like to play WVTC Radio Network?
Absolutely. Download it today.
Views made on the preceding program are not those of WVTC Radio, iNetworks Communications, or their financial supporters.
Winning victory through Christ, WVTC Allsip Chicago, and iNetworks Communication Station.